Radio 101.1 FM. Good afternoon and welcome to the Football Fans Attack. Talk about this particular afternoon. Rather, we'll take a look at the performance of the Flying Eagles that be in action later today against Egypt in the second game of the Under-20 African, the Sick Redemption, after losing their first game against Senegal. We'll talk about the spirit in camp and what you should expect from these boys as they get into match day 2 of the Under-20 African. Also talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria. They were in action this morning in the final game of the Revelations Cup Invitational Tournament in Mexico, and well, things didn't just end more doom and gloom for them. They got a victory this morning against Costa Rica to end their 7-match losing streak in all competitions. So some glimmer of hope, a sigh, a breath of fresh air for the man Randy Wardrum, who's come under intense media backlash for his performance with the girls so far. But Esther Koronko was the difference at the night as she put up a performance worthy of note, giving the Falcons a 1-0 victory against Costa Rica at the Leon dos de Aldamas this morning. We'll talk about the UEFA Champions League. 2 games went down last night. First up in Frankfurt, Germany, where Napoli and Victor Osimhen rallied to a 2-0 victory. Well, something happened in the other game. The team gave 2 and got 5 back. We'll talk about Liverpool and, of course, how they performed woefully yesterday against Real Madrid, defending champions of this competition. We'll also take a look at the significance of the results from last night as we look forward to another interesting, fantastic night of Champions League football later tonight. Leipzig take on Manchester City, and according to Team News, no Kevin De Bruyne. Milan will take on FC Porto in the other game at the San Siro Stadium. And of course, these 2 games would light up our mood later tonight. 9 p.m. is the time for both games. We talk about the games in the right perspective this particular show. Now, for Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool, there's been a lot of backlash after yesterday's performance. I mean, you're leading 2 goals, and the team gets to draw 2-2, but you still cannot hold on to the end of the day. Real Madrid went on to get a 5-2 victory, and that was the first time Liverpool were conceding 5 goals at Anfield in the European competition. We'll talk about transfers as well this particular afternoon. We'll take a look at the latest stories as we look forward to the summer transfer market and what should be expected from the respective teams, and of course teams who are looking to get themselves back on track. Well, these days, Graham Potter and Chelsea always make the headline, so they're also in the plate for today's show. So we'll talk about Graham Potter and Chelsea and the latest stories from there, even as we x-ray their recent bad form and what this means for the Chelsea fans. Well, this and many more will form the crux of the conversation with you this afternoon. Welcome once again to the Football Fans Attack. My name is Marizuna. I'm reporting for duty this afternoon. Not alone, I've got Blyden who joined later in the show, but of course, you can always be a part of the conversation. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. Those 2 numbers will give you the chance to be a part of the conversation when we open the phone lines. Otherwise, you can head to social media, Facebook particularly, or stream live at the Planet Radio 101.1 FM official Facebook handle, the one with the blue tick. Just go there. You can see that we're streaming live. Drop a comment and I'll take them in the course of the show. Otherwise, head to the sports page, the Planet Radio 101.1 FM sports page. Go there, drop a comment, and I'll take them in the course of the show. Once again, welcome to this bumpy ride. All right, right, so the conversation begins this afternoon from the camp of the Flying Eagles, Nigeria's under-20 team. Well, the story is that they are convinced that they can kickstart their quest to qualify for the next round of competition at the ongoing Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations tournament and represent Africa at this year's FIFA Under-20 World Cup. But the 7-time winners of the competition began the tournament on a shaky note, losing by a goal 2-0 to Senegal last week Sunday, but could revive the bid to reach the quarterfinals of the competition if they defeat Egypt at the Cairo International Stadium later today. Egypt, by the way, never had a glamorous start to life for this campaign. They played a goalless draw against Mozambique in the first game, and Ladan Bosio, sadly, according to Team News, is going to be without Dakar Football Club midfielder Daniel Daga and forward Ahmed Abdullahi. Well, Daniel Daga is injured for this game. Ahmed Abdullahi was sent off in the 90th minute against Senegal for his second bookable offense, and he's going to sit out of this game. It's a crucial game for the team, and they will be looking to make sure that they're confident and have no margin for errors. According to Coach Adam Boso, he says, and I quote, "There are high expectations at home, and with the level of preparation and support from the Federation, we have no reason not to give our very best." Right, so we're talking about the Flying Eagles of Nigeria. There'll be an action later today against Egypt. And, well, Blyden, it's good to have you join the show, by the way. Looks like you took a little siesta. Yeah, but it's good to have you, by the way. The Flying Eagles in action later today. And had a shaky start to life for this particular campaign, but there's a lot to be expected when they take on Egypt later today. Talk to us about the game and the effect of this game would have in their aim to qualify for the semi-finals of the competition.
Well, big game it will be. Big game it will be. Quite a difficult game to face the Egyptians, the young pharaohs, because it's going to be tough, considering one fact. They're playing at home, the Egyptians. Secondly, the first game they played against Mozambique, they couldn't get a good result. They played a drop throw. And listening to the Egyptian coach talk about this one, he did say that the first game against the Mozambican side, that they were quite slow because the Super Eagles the Flying Eagles, are about to change the tactics and see what they can get at the end of it. This one. But sadly, from a Flying Eagles point of view, the biggest disappointment would be the fact that Daniel Daga won't be part of this mix because he got injured in the first game. Star midfielder for them, not being part of that mix. We saw how they struggled when Daga was substituted in that game. And the striker, Abdullahi, that got the red card, wouldn't be part of this mix. But on the other hand, we expect them to get a good result, especially at age grade level of football. It's always about youthfulness, always about strength, always about raw skills, who gets to be determined more. And I expect Nigerians to do quite well, especially realizing the Egyptians weren't able to get the win in the first game that they played against Mozambique.
Yeah, the Flying Eagles particularly are 7-time champions of this competition, particularly, and they're expected to do better even as they proceed and progress in the competition. Well, for Egypt, they are also hosts of this competition. They've won it once or twice in history. Looking at both countries, they never had a fine start. Egypt got a draw, and Nigeria got a loss so far. Which among these two teams, Blyden, are more under pressure heading into this particular game?
For me, both. Here's where Nigeria's pressure comes. History. You said they've won it over 7 times, and it speaks volume about the quality of the side. So there's always going to be that mounting pressure on them to get a good result. From an Egyptian point of view, come on, they're the host, especially playing the first game against Mozambique. Mozambique, not the biggest of name, no disrespect to the country, but not the biggest of name in African football, especially at this age level of football. But for Egyptians, after playing that draw against Mozambique, you're facing a Super Eagle, the Flying Eagles. Yeah. I keep talking about them as Super Eagles. Future Super Eagles, anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
But hopefully they get to perform quite well, get to the World Cup, and from there, they can notch the ambition of being part of the Super Eagles. But the pressure is a lot on Nigeria, considering pedigree, considering antecedents, considering so many factors. But on the other hand, the Egyptians too. Is an equally big pressure on them, especially when they're home. But I think the Nigerians are more under pressure.
Yeah, just looking at recollecting, the first game against Senegal. There were loads of talking points from that particular game. They talked about the fact that boys never, made the most of the chances that they got. They never created chances, and they were defensively, quite not decent at different parts of the particular game. Talk to us about the lessons they should learn from that first game and how they should approach the second game with the mindsets that they have to qualify for the semi-finals if they want to play at the World Cup later this year.
Well, one of the biggest problems that happen in football would be when a coach and a team plays one system of football. First game, we could see they're always over-reliant on the wing play. And we've typically seen that with Nigerian football, even with the Super Eagles at the last Nations Cup, when we're dependent so much on the wing play. So when the opponent comes in and choke the midfield a little and stir things up and make it difficult for the wingers to play, we begin to struggle. It was the same thing with the Flying Eagles in the first game against Senegal. Senegal made it difficult for them to play from the middle, had more numbers in the middle, so the wingers were totally not seen. So at the end of it, I hope the coach gets to learn from it, because listening to the Egyptian coach, he said they have to shock up things and make sure they change the tactics and defeat the Super Eagles. Probably they had seen what the Senegalese had done. The Flying Eagles, I said the Super Eagles again. The Flying Eagles.
That's the third time, Blyden.
And look at it, probably he had seen what the Senegalese side had done against this Flying Eagles side. So he would want to throw in that direction, take up the same strategy, stop the wingers from playing. But disappointing, our big midfielder, Daniel Dagger, won't be part of this mix.
Yeah,
but for me, I think
how much of a miss is Dagger going to be? Because you've seen his performance for the under-17 team, and then you're the 20 team right now. He's been a key performer for the side. Was good for them, against Senegal. But how much of a miss would this be, and how will this affect the midfield combination for the Flying Eagles later today?
Well, quite proud of the young lad, especially when you come from an Akwa and you're doing quite well. I did follow the first leg. You could realize the moment he was substituted out of the game due to that injury, the midfield fell apart. So you could understand the pressure that the team are in, especially when a top talent like Daniel Dagger isn't part of that mix. So it would be on the coach now to find a solution to that. Get an adequate replacement for him, because it's not easy when you have a top superstar playing for you and galvanizing the side and then gets injured and it becomes problematic for him. It's going to be a huge miss for the side, but I really hope they get to find a way around it and others get to raise our game and find out how to get a result against the Egyptians.
Well, it's a crunch time for Egypt and Nigeria as the Flying Eagles confronts the host Egypt, and in the game where they must win to remain in contention for a second round ticket at the ongoing Africa Under-20 Nations Cup. The team must avoid defeat, Blyden, to remain in contention for this particular qualification. We hope that they get a good result. A draw, by the way, will place them in a tight situation, because they'll not rely on the result of the other games against Mozambique and Senegal to stand a chance of qualifying. But that would be decided at the end of this particular game. We wish them the very best, and we hope that they go all out and come back with dignitaries. So swiftly, let's talk about the Falcons of Nigeria. The Super Falcons, just to be clear, Nigeria's national women's team finally ended their pouring of 7 games with 7 consecutive defeats with a victory this morning in the final game of Revelation Cup tournament. They got a victory against Costa Rica at the Leon de los Aldama Stadium in Mexico. Esther Koronko's maiden goal was the difference for the Falcons, as that was what they needed to get the only win at this 4-nation invitational tournament and salvage what was left of their battered image. Before finally getting it right against Costa Rica, the Super Falcons had lost similar scorelines to Mexico and Colombia. I go to particularly, and there was so much talk about the quality of the side. Well, Blighted, yes, so many people talk about this win as it's a breath of fresh air, a sigh of relief. But did the Falcons play convincing enough that you can actually think that, well, this win was not just a win, it was a win towards building something positive from here?
Well, for me, I want to first of all thank Esther Okoronkwo. Thank you very much, Esther, for what you've done for us, because it's been disappointing for a long time, playing 7 games and losing all of them until this one, where you had to score the winning goal for us 1-0. Thank you. You've done well. God bless you. Because look at it. It's
now, Blyden, makes it look like was so bad that we need just one goal, to salvage things against Costa Rica, right? We've lost against Colombia, lost against Mexico, but are we that bad that we're getting just one win in 3 games, and we're so proud and so happy and so ecstatic for this particular win?
It's not about being just that bad. The records are there, especially when you look at the consequence. The first loss, the second, the third, the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. So it speaks volume about the side. Remember, I did talk about this particular tournament, the Revelation Cup.
Yeah,
I said Nigeria ought to win it.
They were going to win it, but they lost the first two games.
I didn't say they were going to.
Yeah.
I said they ought to win it.
No, they didn't.
But I didn't trust the team. I didn't trust the coach. That's it. Because when you keep Mexico, Costa Rica, Colombia side by side with Nigeria and the pedigree that comes with Nigerian football, you realize it's an embarrassment to hear that Mexico had defeated Nigeria. It's an embarrassment to hear that Colombia had defeated Nigeria. That's the conversation, Marizona. But so far, finally, at least we didn't slip to Costa Rica. But disappointing what's happening with the team, especially with this coach Waldron. It's been disappointing. Terrible performance from the lads. I can only hope maybe this could be a to good things to come. Finally, they've won again. Maybe they can extend it to the Turkey competition that's coming up, which they'll be that mix. But on the other hand, I do not see anything good coming from these Waldron-led Super Falcons moving forward to the World Cup.
Well, the story is actually, while we're comparing Mexico and Colombia and Costa Rica, none of these three teams have got a university coach as their manager. We decided later this year rather, when the Falcons participate in the World Cup. But they have an invitational tournament later in Turkey, and it comes up, I think it's next month, and it's also preparation for the FIFA Women's World Cup. And the Falcons will be gearing up for the competition where they'll face the likes of Australia, the likes of Canada and the Republic of Ireland in that competition. In as much as there is a little bit of just little to look out for from the Falcons' perspective, but the win was a sigh of relief, and we hope that the build momentum from here and take this quality to the next level. Blyden, with the win, did you see anything differently done by Randy Wardrum in this game? Tactically and personnel-wise, Blyden.
I'm just wondering where you're getting all these questions around Falcons. They're disappointing. No, there's nothing positive around it.
We should actually think of positives.
I saw nothing.
Really?
I saw nothing.
So going to the World Cup, no hope for Nigeria.
Same old. Disappointing from the Waldron-led team.
Wow.
But we know the team is decent in terms of the personnel in it. You look at the superstars in that Falcon side. What we've done for that club side, scattered all around Europe. And you could consider why they're playing the way they're playing. We know women's football is quite developing all around the world. Smaller countries are beginning to show some certain level of class and probably dominance moving forward, but not against the Super Falcons. They're Super Falcons for a reason, and this coach has made them not to look super and taken away the Falcons in them.
The story from there. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about competitions and teams who are super and who are not particularly weak in all fronts. That's the UEFA Champions League. We'll talk about that and so much more after this short break. Please stick around. Right back in a jiffy.
The Football Fans Friday is officially here. All the biggest football fans around the globe, all in one place.
United for life.
I'm Barcelona.
What's the percent?
Arsenal. I'm Juventus.
I'm Madrid.
Chelsea.
Surely it has to be Manchester City.
AC Milan.
I've been looked for United who shut up for life. Ha ha ha. A Yimba. Kind of sinners. Exclusive and up-to-date football content every Friday 3 to 4 p.m. on Planets 101.1 Afro. Come ready to rep your club.
My people, no let new naira and cashless matter worry you. Hope Bank day your phone, 500 naira woof day. So if you want send mama money, I be to buy a Maka recharge card. To give customer money, I be customer want give you money.
Hope day your phone, 500 naira woof day.
My people, your phone number, na ATM card and account number. Oh.
Yes, so enjoy better life with Hope Wallet. Dial *569*9# on your phone. Select Open Wallet. Put your details and fiam, your wallet done set. Hope BS Bank go sell you 500 naira a woof. Terms and conditions dey. Hope, succeed. Hope Bank always.
Nothing unites the world like football. Join the football community here on Planet 101 FM. Yo.
besides the goals. Obviously, the first goal. We became slightly passive, a bit higher up the pitch already. We were not chasing them where we had to chase them, because this is a team, when you get passive, this is you get punished. We realized in that moment, and the second goal is slapstick. Should not happen, can happen. And it's 2-2, but the feeling in half time was rather, they probably think we cannot do it again, but we can, and we can change 5 times, and then we can keep the rhythm and these kind of things. But then the first situation pretty much
Well, clearly the man sounds frustrated. Jurgen Klopp, the manager of Liverpool, talking yesterday after Liverpool led a 2-goal lead slide in the most dramatic of fashion at the Anfield Stadium against Real Madrid. Or the stories that they have been left with the mountainous task to keep their UCL ambitions alive after they were torn apart by ruthless Real Madrid at the Anfield. The holders Real Madrid, who beat Liverpool in last season's UEFA Champions League final, became the first side to score 5 goals at Anfield in Europe, despite going down 2 goals early into the game, as Liverpool made a dream start to the last 16 tie. Vinicius Jr. was a thorn in the flesh for Liverpool, and D90 scored twice. Karim Benzema also came from the bench and scored twice for Liverpool, for Real Madrid rather. Eder Militao was the other goal scorer for this side as they went on to get a fantastic victory against Liverpool, 5 goals to 2 in NFL. For Liverpool, by the way, Darwin Núñez and Mohamed Salah had opened the scoring for the side to give them a 2-0 victory, 2-0 lead rather, in as early as 14 minutes into the game, and that was it. Leiden, before we talk about the fine details that made this game what it was yesterday, talk to us about how things unraveled on the night. Liverpool leading, courtesy of Darwin Núñez. Thibaut Courtois made a schoolboy error, and well, it was fantastic to see Mohamed Salah capitalize, scored the second goal. But we thought that was the end, because the Liverpool fans were happy. Liverpool were pressing, but all of a sudden, Vinicius Jr. erupted, made nonsense of Trent Alexander-Arnold's quality, scored the first goal, made it 2-1, scored the second, courtesy of another drama from this other side. Alisson Becker made it 2-2 at halftime. Heading into the second half, there was so much talk about how both teams approached the game, but it was one-sided. Real Madrid erupted. Eder Militao scored for Liverpool, for Real Madrid rather. Karim Benzema made it 3-2, and of course made it 4-2 rather, and made it 5-2 again. Talk to us about the game and how things went from a night to remember to a night to forget for Liverpool.
These days at Anfield, these days it's all about walking alone. I did talk about it yesterday. Look, Liverpool are no more the Liverpool we used to know. Especially when you listen to Jurgen Klopp, the coach, have to explain it, and it can be quite frustrating from Klopp's point of view, the way it's making all these explanations for the team. We had a slow moment sometimes, and you can be pushing all that. But let me use the word of the coach, Ancelotti. He was asked, and he said the most decisive player in world football right now is Vinicius Jr.
Yeah.
Fantastic footballer, I must say. He's really grown. Barely 2 years ago, he was regarded as one terrible player in Real Madrid. Yeah. Remember that conversation with Karim Benzema saying,
Benzema
he's not for us.
So the teammates not to pass to him anymore. And all
he's not playing for them, he's playing for the opponent. But he's been a different kind of animal in recent times. If you need speed, he's going to bring it. We did talk about this particular game yesterday. That's going to be bowled around the wingers from Real Madrid's point of view, and really didn't work out. But I was going to be interested with what Karim Benzema brought in. Big player for big nights. And when you do something time and time again, you do it the first time, we think probably it was a fluke. Remember that Champions League final, Liverpool, Real Madrid. Mo Salah got injured, that shoulder injury. Everybody say, Sergio Ramos. They did it the second time, and this is the third time in recent times, speaking clear dominance.
Now, let's talk about something, Blyden. First off, Liverpool went 2 goals ahead. Now, there are two perspectives to the story. One side are thinking Liverpool were just too bad. Another side are thinking Real Madrid were just too good for Liverpool particularly. Well, Liverpool went 2 goals up.
14 minutes into the
game. What happens to holding down? What happens to managing the game? So a lot of people think that this was a case of poor management for not just Jurgen Klopp, but for the Liverpool players. They lacked that cutting edge to be able to manage games.
Well, I think it's all about the form of Liverpool in recent times. You see the way they first goal, decent. Second goal, you saw that mistake from the goalkeeper, Real Madrid goalkeeper. You begin to wonder what he was thinking about. He needs to clear the ball, just clear the ball.
Yeah.
I saw Mo Salah is right in front of you. You want to control with your left. The ball hits his right knee, and he was confused for a moment. Mo Salah got the ball, free gift, and it's a goal. I think that changed it. But the moment Vinicius Jr. got close and scored that fantastic goal, it was an eruption. It changed the dynamics of the game. The whole Madrid side began to think about even moving forward and getting a result. Then Alisson Becker did magic.
Yeah,
the ball on
his own drama.
Vinicius Jr.
So give us so much Hollywood. But Leiden, 2 back-to-back wins in the Premier League for Liverpool. We thought they were back on track. We thought that this was, the time for them to build from here and get the wins, but it never happened. But let's talk about Real Madrid. They were brilliant on the night. Despite going 2 goals down, they never lost their head. They never lost their calm. What kind of team is this, and how do they do these things every single time?
Well, I like mentality. That's one thing about Real Madrid. It's all about winning and winning and winning and winning and winning. You want to talk about the biggest club in the world, then it ought to be Real Madrid.
They're not even the best team in the La Liga. They're dropping points in the La Liga, but when it comes to the Champions League, they look like they just wear something else.
Well, the Champions League is where the best teams show class, not domestic league. La Liga is a domestic league. Champions League, they call it Champions League for a reason, where the champions show class. Barcelona couldn't perform at the Champions League. They dropped to the Europa second tier, so they're comfortable with La Liga. But there's something about Real Madrid, such a quality side where they play. And look at that. Which goal was that? The third goal they scored.
Yeah.
That goal, the magical Modric, got the ball in the midfield, drove past 2 players, and they wanted to and he said, I'm not going anywhere. Dropped the ball to Vinicius Jr., and Vinicius Jr. gave the next pass, and it showed class and dominance to understand what happens in Europe.
But we'll talk about this Liverpool issue, but let's take a few calls in. 090-222-31011 and 0817-624-8565. The phone lines are buzzing. Want to know what the fans think about the Liverpool situation and if this is the end of the road for Liverpool and maybe Jurgen Klopp. Good afternoon, welcome, football fan. Yeah, Victor.
But it wasn't a nice. They didn't perform what they saw wasn't nice. And let me believe that this time they must score goal and get 3 points. For the Champions League tonight, let me wish my team Chelsea. Chelsea is still my great team, but I still lost them. Those but are not doing well. So let me still wish them Chelsea. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Victor, for talking to us. Well, just head to Facebook too and drop a comment on our live feed. We can take them in the course of the show. Good afternoon, welcome, football fans. Good to have you. Mr. E.
That I don't have confidence in that game. And it's like talking club have a style in Liverpool as long as the coaching career is concerned.
Right.
I can't see talking club approaching any team at the same style of play. Remember, it's a different team.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Easy. Gratitude for talking to us. Duo to call us back. Looks like network is actually very bad. Well, Blyden, this is a Liverpool fan talking, and then he has said something quite interesting. Now, I want us to talk about it. Jurgen Klopp. He's been here for going to 7-8 years now with Liverpool, and he's had his fair share of good times, highs. But right now, it's a season of lows for him. Apart from the 7-season syndrome we've talked about over time, but look at Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp. Do you think this should be where that marriage should end?
No, I do not think so. I think he's done enough to have another season or more. Let's see what things can change. Sometimes you go through this period, that law of decline, especially when a lot of other coaches are coming up, new systems are coming up, teams are getting better and better and better. Because you look at it now, the cutting age between the big teams and the small teams is just so thin. Yeah. It's not that much. So you have to be at your very best as a big team to get results over smaller teams. Not to talk of taking on other big teams like Real Madrid. So it's been concerning from a Liverpool point of view. But I think it's not time for me. It's not time for Jurgen Klopp to call it quit with Liverpool or Liverpool bye-bye with Jurgen Klopp. But decent coach has been, but it's not been working out in recent times.
Good afternoon, football fan. Oh, have you can talk to us? Yes, go ahead.
Well, I'm calling from you.
All right. Hello. All right, please do all to call us back. Just in case you're finding it difficult to reach out to us through the phone line, just head to Facebook, Planet Radio 101.1 FM. We're streaming on our live feed right now. Go there, drop a comment. Otherwise, go to the sports page. There's a post published. Drop a comments there too, and we'll take them in the show. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Better now.
Yes, Wem is coming back again.
Yeah, Wem.
Yes, my son. Good afternoon.
Yes,
I
go
want
ahead.
to say that I'm very disappointed with the Liverpool yesterday. When I watched the match, I said this people will be the money this Real Madrid. In the twinkle of an eye, you see what this guy does. 5-2. What's so crazy with the Liverpool? What's happened? Is it not the same player that they use play the ball? Is it the formation has been changing? Let the club go to the running ball and make their team to be effective. As everybody come to beat Liverpool, it wouldn't be that Liverpool we know before. I don't know how it's going to be. I wish my team today, Man City. Good luck. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, and God bless you too, Wem. Germany, Eintracht Frankfurt played host to Napoli. Well, here's the story. Victor James Osimhen, the son of Mr. Patrick Osimhen, scored his 20th goal of the season as Napoli beat 10-man Eintracht Frankfurt in the first leg of the UEFA Champions League last 16. We'll talk about this game and all of the intricacies after this call. Good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir, welcome.
I'm calling from you.
All right, welcome.
You see, the problem of Liverpool is the coach and the management of Liverpool, they knew the problem of Liverpool. They don't want to admit it. Since Manny left that team, you will look at the Falcons that has been created. Manny was the live wire of Liverpool. I was very disappointed yesterday that Real Madrid could come to their house and beat them five goals to a game that they were leading. So it was a very surprising. They should look inward and see what is happening to the team. Otherwise, they may not even play Conference League this year. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Joe Blyden, Victor Osimhen scored his 20th goal of the season as Napoli beat 10-man Eintracht Frankfurt in the first leg of their UCL last 16 tie. That's the story. Kivita Varachelia missed a penalty. Osimhen struck in the first half when he turned in Lozano's superb pass. Things went from bad to worse for Frankfurt when Randon Colomani was sent off for a really bad challenge. But Napoli made it 2-0 through Di Lorenzo, the captain of the side, and that was the story. It gives them a big advantage heading into the second leg in Italy on Wednesday, the 15th of March. But talk to us about Napoli, not just Victor Osimhen, but the way the team play. Yes, there's something called momentum, but right now this team is among the top 3 best teams right now, Blyden. You think so?
Yeah, decent side. Yesterday we did talk about the best, top 5 teams in Europe who could
put Napoli there.
Yeah, who could possibly win the Champions League. Napoli was part of that mix. Maybe I rated them around 3, number 3 on that list, but decent side, especially when you begin to sparkle. Just as I said yesterday, I think they have to be careful about what they won. If they won Serie A or they won Champions League. But good performance against Eintracht Frankfurt is going to be difficult moving forward because I want to assume they've qualified already, going to Frankfurt and entering Frankfurt 2-0. Victor Osimhen, we know the quality, even from African perspective and Nigerian perspective. Can I just say, behold the next African footballer of the year, Victor Osimhen. It's been a long time. Okay,
Mari.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
I want to ask you a question, Harlan, but just finish.
Okay, concerning Liverpool, there is something that is going on in all the big clubs. If you look at them, all of them are recruiting younger players. But if you look at Liverpool, most of them are aging players. They're supposed to have find way to replace some of those players. Look at Man City, Arsenal, and also even Chelsea that is changing their wardrobe. The Liverpool is just there, managing those players. Don't know, this is the time of fatigue for them. And Madrid is a second half player.
Yes, go ahead.
As for my team, Man City, this one, Calvin De Bruyne is not there, but I still pray for God to help us. So that is the key man.
All right, so, Haaland, I wanted to ask you something. Erling Haaland, Victor Osimhen, you had a chance to choose. Who do you go for?
You want to put Warri Wolves and Barcelona. Haaland is the best now. Forget about Osimhen. It's for a minute because Africans, the problem, they don't last in that.
All right.
Those foreigners, you know what happened.
Thank you.
Alan is the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Arizona. Good afternoon, Latin.
Good afternoon.
My name is Chico. My take would be on what I saw yesterday against Liverpool. And I don't know when Liverpool put their team in order and their hands in order so that they will beat Real Madrid the way they were beaten last night. It was also shameful that Liverpool are fair to be on the team now. I was expecting them to win that in at least 2-2 as I saw the scoring goals. But so obvious that this junior, there's a bad driver that drove them to where they did not know. At the end of the day, they are crying so bitterly. This evening, the match we want tonight, I think it will be not even 90 game. It will be Porto and Inter because they will play very beautiful football this evening. All
right, thank you very much for talking to us this afternoon. Oh, football fan, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. We're taking calls as much as possible. Welcome. Well, no. Hello, Nola. Yes. Your Chelsea are not in the conversation today. Well, just go ahead.
Please, we are not talking about Chelsea now. I just called the radio. You want to start violent?
Go ahead, Nolax. Go ahead.
I'm not even talking about Chelsea because I'm not talking about Chelsea. You
see, here's the thing. You know. There's this adage that says that before you try to, pick somebody's eye, make sure yours is clean. Nolax.
You see Potter, you will catch Potter. You will catch that man.
All right, go ahead.
He will regret the day he saved his feet in Stamford Bridge. Okay, I want to talk about Victor Osimhen. That guy is good. I'm very happy for him, but I pray that he should be injury free. That's my prayer, and I pray that the eyes of Manchester United, as well as Todd Bowley, should not him. I don't want him to come and flop for Chelsea and for Manchester United because I hate Todd Bowley is making plans to bring him. I don't want him to come and flop in my flock. I did Todd Bowley in the name of God. I don't want him. And Manchester United, I pray that they should not see, even if that other people will come and get Manchester United. I'm very happy for him. He's doing very well. I think he should start taking penalties because his goal tally now should be very, very much. He was taking penalties.
Right.
And that built up to the second goal yesterday. That was really beautiful. Even if Rica missed that penalty, he actually gave that assist for the second goal. That was very beautiful. Congratulations for him. That's my thank you.
Thank you very much, Nolax. Coming back home soon. Good afternoon.
Yes, Mr. Easy, the second time.
All right, 45 seconds, Mr. Easy.
All right. Still not talking club will take Liverpool to Terraro that we used to have before. And I think Liverpool should also take another foot by looking elsewhere because we so if you lose him now,
all right. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Welcome, football fan.
No.
Yes, welcome. Sounds like Ifyok.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Ifyok.
Liverpool for letting go to the opponent. The decision that so they are come, so they are go, but still remain.
Abi?
So currently, Sadio Mane is sidelined for Bayern Munich, and they won against Paris Saint-Germain. What if he was at Liverpool and was injured? Real Madrid would have still won. So Sadio Mane, letting Sadio Mane go is not the problem. After all, Sadio Mane was never a defender that would have defended the 5 goals of entry. Liverpool should learn how to play without the Mane. Then I want to congratulate our man, Victor Osimhen. I can't wait for that boy to become the next African footballer of the year. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you very much. Joe Blyden action returns later tonight in 2 different centers in the UEFA Champions League. One is going to go down in the Red Bull Arena, where City traveled to take on RB Leipzig. Let's squeeze in this call before we talk about the game.
Go. Age is beginning to count on them. Bernardo Silva, all these guys. They might not be at the peak of 30s, but they're getting closer, many of them, and they're slowing down. That's basically it for me. But side by side, keep the standings. If you are told that City couldn't qualify against RB Leipzig, I think many people wouldn't agree to it. Everyone will look at City going past RB Leipzig.
Yeah.
Leipzig are a decent side, no doubt. Quality side, especially from a typical German side. You've already given the highlights on how they qualified from the group stages after the first 2 games struggle.
Yeah.
Finally, they're able to qualify. And decent side at the end of it, but come on, we always expect City to do
You've
better.
made mention, Blyden, of Erling Haaland and the fact that somehow he might be one of the quagmires of that City team. Now, a lot of people believe that he kind of, narrows in their game. Because when City attack, it's just about Erling Haaland lately. But before Haaland came into the team, it was a flurry of attackers. Everybody has had a chance to score. Now, talk to us about Erling Haaland. Despite scoring 25 goals so far, he's not been able to be consistent since after the World Cup, particularly. But you think Haaland is more of a problem than a solution, or vice versa for City so far?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. I'll use a typical example, a case that happened in Chelsea. Lukaku. Many people thought Lukaku was that terrible at Chelsea. But for me, it was all about the system they played. When you have an outright striker, it's just like having Victor Osimhen is quite decent. You take Victor Osimhen to Manchester City. In the long run, he might still score some goals, but he'll also become a problem for City in the long run because you have to play to this player's strength, and that's Erling Haaland. Look at the beginning of season. Erling Haaland in Manchester City colours. What happened? It was all about throwing the ball to Haaland. Alan getting those goals and moving swift.
So what has changed after the World Cup? Here's
the thing now, Marizona. Yeah. The way City play and Alan being part of that system, you try to realize they try to want him to be part of the mold instead of being just outright striker doing the job. And it's not really working because you won't be able to get the best of Alan from that angle. But on the other hand, it only works when you have maybe Kevin De Bruyne being part of that mix. Who set that pass for Alan? Look, these guys are goal pushers. They're not systemic kind of player you have to depend on. So you have to use them the way they are.
But here's the conversation. I don't think that there's been a change of system since after the World Cup for City.
There has been, not necessarily for City, but for Haaland, the way he's playing.
Yeah.
Look at it before the World Cup. Every single moment, you see Haaland trying to get forward, and they're trying to find Haaland. But it's not the same any longer. They're trying to build up the system, and Haaland ought to fit into the system. That's where the problem is coming in. That Haaland isn't scoring consistently. Look at the Haaland that played against Manchester United.
What happens to tactical flexibility, from a Haaland perspective? Maybe model your game, tweak your game to fit into the system, at your team right now in order to get the best of the system, because right now it looks like it's only Kevin De Bruyne that understands Haaland. But the other creative players in the team, Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, it seems like the only person that understands how Haaland plays is Kevin De Bruyne, and sadly, he's not going to be in this game.
Marizona, here's the problem. It's not just about having a striker who tries to understand how he plays in the system. It's all about your best players utilizing their best strength. That's it. Otherwise, you're going to get this scenario.
What's if utilizing the best strength of Haaland means underutilizing the best strength of another player in the team?
No, not necessarily. Who's your biggest weapon? That's how you look at it. So when you look at your biggest weapon, you utilize your biggest weapon the way you ought to. What happens at the end of it? You get the necessary
in this instance now.
So when you're not utilizing your weapon the way you ought to utilize it, it underpins the team one way or the other. And that's what we're seeing with Manchester.
In this instance, Blyden, there's no Kevin De Bruyne. To spring those long-range passes, those creative eye-of-the-needle passes. So if City want to play to Haaland's strength, who's going to be at that position to feed Haaland as much as possible? Because every other player in that attacking setup are just ball carriers.
All right, let me add this in this conversation. Haaland is not necessarily a striker that just waits for that pass to come.
Yeah.
Haaland plays to the flow. When you have the flow quicker up front, Haaland will walk out because he can bundle the defender off and score a goal. He can get quick movement to a right position and score a goal. If you're scoring the ball, he can still do that. So for me, from a City point of view, it's not necessarily all about Kevin De Bruyne, but it's about how the system is. Are they getting the ball up front quicker? That's the problem. But if they're doing the passing around football that they normally do, definitely it's going to be difficult for Haaland to score. He'll now have to depend on that midfielder that threw the pass for him to get a goal. And Kevin De Bruyne is not around. I really hope from Man City's point of view that the likes of Bernardo Silva, the likes of Gundogan and the rest will be able to get the ball quicker up front. When you make Haaland run, surely you're going to get a goal.
Good afternoon, football fan.
Now, please, I want to see that we are already to see Guardiola. Guardiola should not be depending on Haaland. Since Haaland plays the City.
All right. Well, it's difficult to hear you to get to make a sense of what you're telling us, but I hope you can call us back. Maybe the network is a little stubborn. We'll head to Facebook in a moment or two from now to take comments from there as much as possible. But right now, we're taking a few calls in. Of course, so gradually wrap it up. The show is out today. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my dinner. You just me calling again.
All right, if you're
my dinner about Liverpool versus Real Madrid, I think it has to do with the issue of the history both clubs share. We see Manchester City, despite how good they are, they cannot win Tottenham for some years now. The same thing happened for Tottenham against Chelsea. No matter how they play, they will first find it difficult to win Chelsea. So that's the problem I see with Liverpool. Liverpool, to me, that yesterday, they have all what it takes to beat Real Madrid, following the fact that Aurelien Tchouameni and the other guy was not around. But to my surprise, after scoring 2 goals, they now went back to collect 5.
All right.
So I think the club should do something about it before it gets worse. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Ifyok. Let's head to Facebook and take comments from there, the sports page particularly. Yubi Afangide Mo Dangote says, hello crew, Liverpool would never walk alone. They have Chelsea to work with them. No sports crew, I think Liverpool need a complete overhaul of players. Osimhen is Africa's best right now. Jimeli Dan says, I'm not a Liverpool fan, but disappointed with them. Real beating them 5-2. It's very poor. I'm wishing my team Chelsea the best against Spurs. Of Chelsea texting from Cameroon. Thank you. Well, John Sterling says, I've heard Liverpool part of the story. True, waiting Madrid do no good. But all the same, congrats to Vinicius Jr. on winning the Man of the Match award. Thank you for having me. Jamzi Joshua says it was a dramatic match as Real Madrid came from behind to win Liverpool. It's so pathetic. I really think Sadio Mane leaving Liverpool has been a very big problem to them. I wish you the best. I wish you on the 20 rather the best of luck. Ubong Itasen says Liverpool should forget about the comeback against Real Madrid on the 15th of next month, because the return leg will be a mere formality. Real Madrid have already progressed to the next round of the competition. Good luck to the Flying Eagles against Egypt later today. The phone lines right now: 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. Good afternoon. Yes. Yes.
Maria, I will accuse you.
Oh, okay. What have I done this time?
You have already done a lot.
Oh, okay.
You know the problem of Chelsea, and you are there laughing. So let me tell you, if you don't give me a same number of bamboo, I will not be happy with you. There is a problem of Chelsea. That man buy Chelsea and they want to destroy Chelsea. What is wrong? We remember Abraham Moses last week that we don't want to see that place again. I don't know what is going on. Another greeting which I will give is Benedict, which is here. That man is a very good analyzed football fan. Let him keep it on. Then we bless him. He speaks the truth. He's one man riot in the studio. One man riot.
Yes, I agree. Thank you very much. Well, that's for you. Well, there's no show without. You should not.
Not true.
Well, you should call. Please.
Man, to say the truth, a few hottest property in Europe. Despite the fact that he's a black king, whether they want to accord him respect or not, after they compare Haaland and Osimhen, look at his work rate. Osimhen can get the ball, he can do dribble. Haaland is through the ball, doing a match come. Then yesterday, Mari was a bad record for the John Club. I had to say he's the only coach that recorded that headed debate in Champions League. Then this guy finished because the only player that scored 8 goals that beats Liverpool.
Right.
Then remember Liverpool an unforgettable experience. Anfield is no more. Everything is coming. Liverpool don't marry in their retirement. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you very much, Sabgana, for talking to us this afternoon. Blighted Inter Milan take on Porto also later tonight. That's one of those games that we might not want to talk about a lot, but it might just come and give us so much drama. Inter Milan, not the best of teams right now in the Serie A, dropping points here and there, former champions, particularly. You look at FC Porto, one of those very stubborn and staunch Portuguese sides, right? So what kind of game should we expect at the San Siro later tonight?
Well, tight game, quite tight game, I must say. It's typical of Portuguese side. We've seen what Portuguese side have done in the Champions League over decent sides, even Porto. We've seen recently they've been able to beat Juventus, and they've even gone for an war football. At some point, when Chelsea won the Champions League, they had to go through in a difficult moment.
Yeah.
But Inter Milan, I think the good old days have not been really around for Inter Milan, but they're trying to build momentum step by step. Difficult game, but I think Inter should have all the arsenals to go through in this one.
All right, so that's it for the show this afternoon. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. Thank you, Blind. And by the way, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who made that the show a success. We'll do this again later tomorrow, 7:30 to 8 in the morning. And of course, 3 to 4 p.m. later in the afternoon. We'll talk about the results of tonight's game. So do want to enjoy some games for your viewing delight. But by the way, 4 o'clock would have the news on Dara Udoma sitting closely for that particular one. And of course, we'll have the Planet Rush show with Blessing Dixon, aka Lady B, should come and give you guys the hottest gist right now. There's a lot from the entertainment scene. And you have every reason to keep your doubts locked in on Planet Radio